A quick message everyone, I've made this video as a pilot episode to see if you guys will be interested in seeing scary stories from Asia made into a regular series. I can have Korean and Japanese stories translated by my friends, but of course if you're not interested, then there's no point in continuing this as a series. So let me know in the comment section if you want more, or you could thumb up the video to do the same. Anyhow, these stories are allegedly true, and just keep in mind that I don't claim to have proofs of authenticity, and that's it. Enjoy the video. This happened 3 months ago, but before I continue telling the story, I want to assure you first of all that it wasn't a dream, and secondly, I've got no incentives to lie. I live in an apartment. It's a building that has exterior corridors, and I live on the 6th floor. It was very late one night and I was coming home from work. I wanted to have a smoke before heading inside, so I lit a cigarette standing next to the elevator. So I'm enjoying my smoke when I hear the elevator beep. I look at the digital panel and I see number 6. I took a quick glance to see who was getting off because I was thinking of hiding my cigarette if it happened to be an elderly neighbor. To my surprise, it was a woman who I never saw before. She looked to be in her mid-30s, and what I remember most about her is that she looked ghostly, like all life had drained out of her. She wore a black dress and walked out of the elevator with heavy footsteps. Then all of a sudden, she flicked her head in my direction and just stared at me with her piercing eyes. It felt like my heart stopped beating for a second, then all of a sudden it was racing. She just continued to stare at me as she walked towards the dark staircase. Her neck moved unnaturally, like the way you move it if you had a neck brace on. She wouldn't stop staring at me until she disappeared into the darkness. It was disturbing to say the least, and to be completely honest, I was really scared too. I thought to myself, she's just a crazy bitch, forget about it. I went home still feeling a bit uneasy. I powered on the computer to distract my mind when I heard my phone ring. I was irritated thinking, who the hell will call me at this hour? But I answered the call anyways. Hello? I said, but no one answered. I couldn't even hear a person breathe on the other line, so I just hung up, assuming that it must be a prank call or something. I continued doing stuff on my PC when I hear someone ring the bell. It scared me so much that for an instant, it felt like my heart was poked with something really sharp. At this point, I was so scared that I tried to trick myself into believing that I was actually frustrated. I thought to myself, what kind of an asshole comes over at this hour to anyone's home? Then I answered the door in a mix of angered and scared tone. Who is it? I foolishly opened the door without even checking through the peephole, but to my surprise, there was no one outside. I closed the door and locked it. I just stood there lost in thought when I was awoken by the urge to smoke another damn cigarette. There was no way I was going outside to the corridor to have a smoke, so I went outside to the balcony and lit one up again. I was taking in the beautiful autumn leaves when I noticed a dark figure by the parking lot. It looked human. I took a closer look and my heart sank. Not only was this dark figure the crazy bitch from the elevator, but she was looking straight at me from all the way down the parking lot. Imagine the steep angle your neck would have to be in order to look 6 floors up. She looked like something straight out of a nightmare. So I continued looking at her in shock and fear when she signals me with her hand to calm down. I don't really know why, but I just instinctively screamed, "Hey, you crazy bitch!" She then waved me down even more vigorously, almost as if my taunt was motivating her even more. For a split of a second, I thought, should I beat the fuck out of this bitch? But then I used the excuse of being lazy and backed off the confrontation. Eventually, the waiting must have pissed her off or something because this crazy bitch ran straight towards my apartment entrance with her hair flying in all directions. I was scared shitless, I ain't gonna lie. I locked the door behind me and I was panicking because I knew she knew where I lived. In the moment of chaos, I called my best friend and without even explaining anything, I just screamed for him to come over. My friend lives very close to my place, so I'm expecting him to be here pretty soon. I'm thinking I need to be ready for anything, so I grab a baseball bat and I'm ready to swing this thing on whoever's head that comes through the door. I'm telling you, I wasn't in the right frame of mind at that point. All I'm thinking is, I need to kill this bitch if I'm going to live. I'm frozen solid in front of the door, sweat raining down my forehead when I hear the doorbell ring. I was freaking out because I didn't know whether it was my friend or the woman. I nervously asked, "Is it you, man?" I felt my arms relax and my legs start to shake as my friend answered from the other side of the door. I let him in and explained everything that's happened. He told me that he had to take the stairs because the elevator was malfunctioning. We spent the rest of the night talking about random things, him trying to distract me with other subjects. To put my mind at ease, I made him sleep over for safe measure. The next day, there was a pandemonium in my apartment complex. I went downstairs to speak to my neighbors about the fuss. As it turns out, there was an accident overnight at the apartment building next to ours. A man and a woman had been killed in an elevator crash accident. It was all over the news, the accident that happened a couple of years ago. The elevator cable snapped on the 14th floor and the emergency brake had malfunctioned. I got petrified as I was told the entire detail of the accident because the crash had occurred at 2 in the morning and the time that I saw the crazy woman was around the same time. The coincidence was too freakish, and not to mention the fact that the woman was in her mid-30s, unmarried. The experience had left me so traumatized that I seriously thought of getting some psychiatric help, and the situation worsened when another man died in yet another elevator accident in our apartment complex. They said the CCTV showed the man falling through the elevator floor like the floor just gave, as if he was made out of sand. Call me paranoid or insane, I don't care. But there's no doubt in my mind that I would have died that night had I listened to the crazy woman's pleas for me to come down to the parking lot.